Hey, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Man, it was a lot of fun last night. We're going to get into all of that tonight. I think that's pretty much all we got to talk about, really, is just reliving our experience, answering questions that you may have, and just relishing in the event that it was. So we'll get into all that. Of course, we want the chat to get active. And so please comment in the chat. Let's talk. And but of course, I don't do this by myself. Everybody say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. Ed, how you doing?
Peter, Peter, man, excited. I mean, that was one hell of a game.
Yeah,
We'll definitely start talking about the game itself, but the experience that we had was incredible.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you
So
know,
we'll get into all that as we go. Let the chat start filling up. But just right off rip, I know we were off for a couple of weeks unexpectedly, but I was traveling. So I thought about moving to Tulsa, Ed. I thought about moving to Tulsa. Um,
what?
yep, I have a jersey now for FC Tulsa. So that's all you need to move, right? As a jersey. If you get a jersey from a team from a city, then it's like, hey, might as well go live there, right? So
Yeah, man. Wow,
I
shocked. I'm
spent I
shocked.
spent 4 days in Tulsa last weekend. It's kind of one of those things like, why would anybody go to Tulsa? But that's where my brother lives. So, and it's funny as real quick story as people are kind of starting to get in. I turned my brother on to soccer. He was never a soccer fan growing up, but I turned him on to it when he moved back to Florida for a couple of years, and he was coming to all the games with me, Ed, and Julio. He loved it. And then when he moved back to Tulsa, I was like, hey, there's a team there. So took him a while. Eventually he went, loved it, had fun, bought season tickets. I figured, let me go and watch a game with him since he's watched so many games with us. So yep, it's been a while, but we're back and we got a lot to talk about. But again, before we go too far, let's say a thank you to our sponsor, and that is Canesware. Canesware is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. You get all your messy gear there. Support a local business. They need your help, guys. I mean, they're competing against the likes of Fanatics and all these other big brand stores. So support a mom and pop shop, really, because that's what they are. So give them some love and,
It's like giving us love.
that's it. That's it. You go in there and tell them that we sent you, and it's kind of the same thing. Hey, if also you want to leave a voicemail, 786-474-4435. We've got 4 of them, Ed, in the
Oh,
hopper.
wow.
So people
No,
are
no, just
excited to kind of talk about last night. So we got 4
uh,
people.
before before we jump in, Peter, I want to say thank you to everybody that came up to us. There were a
Man,
lot
so
of
many.
people that said hello to us. I need to, start, taking, well, a lot of them took pictures with us, but I need to start remembering the names. Do tell us who you guys are, and, we'll definitely, hang out with you guys and ask questions because we're going to start doing something like that. Right, Peter?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So real quick before I go into that, um, I've become a little bit known as the train guy. Apparently, several people. So I took the tri rail, and several people saw me on the tri rail, and they're like, "You're the guy that did those train videos, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so. I don't know if anybody else did them. I think it's me." And I even got us a new subscriber at the Pompano train station when I was getting off the train. I did my outro, and the guy was like, "Hey, do you have a channel?" And he asked, "Is it a train channel or is it an Inter Miami channel?" He said, "Well, this is a train video only because it's Inter Miami. It's an Inter Miami channel." But yeah, so many people came up and said hi. So many new people that we have not met before. So that was a lot of fun to get to know you guys. Um,
You know what? I mentioned my daughter in one of them. She
yeah.
said that 3 people went up to her and said they liked my videos, and one of them I think even asked her out. So
Whoa, she might have gotten a date thanks to Football Miami TV.
whoa, yeah. So yeah,
Keep your hands off Ed's daughter.
come on, guys. Sheesh.
Little
So
respect
yeah,
here. But yeah, for
no
us,
respect, I tell you.
yeah, for us, it was a fun day, but it was a work day for sure. So we knocked out one really long video that you guys can see now in the game day vlog, and where we got a chance to be VIP. I don't have my VIP pass in this room. I think it's in the other room.
Oh, me too.
Thanks to our friends at Specialist ID and or friend Patrick, and hooked us up.
We love that guy. He's
And
awesome.
then we filmed another updated tri-roll video that we'll put out. If you're a member of this channel, click that join button. If you're a member of the channel, you already have access to that train video. So if you're not a member, you can wait a few days and you'll see it, where we go step by step, everything. I think I got everything. I mean, pretty much. And then we're starting a new series, which is me getting out of my comfort zone, Ed, because I'm not comfortable going up to just random strangers. I'm cool.
And that's why I go up to them. Yeah.
Well, I think we both did.
Mhm.
We both. But yes, it was good teamwork. And
Right.
and so we have a new series, short videos, where it's just like a Q&A. We're calling it One Question, Inter Miami Fans. So because each video we ask one question. And so those will be starting to trickle out as well. All right, let's get into the chat. There is a bunch of people. That was a long intro. But first off, thanks to one of our members here, Caesar, who also took the train and is sitting next to us in our normal seats. So that's fun. I would love to have like all of our Football Miami TV friends sitting in one section. That would be cool. Kata is here. What's up, Peter and Ed? Was at the game. Took tri-rail at Deerfield. Great experience. I thought I would take the Deerfield, but then I realized Pompano I'm like in between. And so I might as well go to the one that's south instead of the one that's north. I'm literally right in between the two stations.
Right. Dude, and I'm just watching the chat. Your Specialist ID's giving out memberships.
What?
Yes. Look at that. What? Yeah, see
Yeah.
that?
Specialist ID is gifted 50 Football Miami TV memberships. How? You know what? I don't know how
Wow.
you get those. Oh, but people are figuring it out. Because look at this. Look at this. We've got new members left and right. Carlos just joined in thanks to Specialist ID. Christian got
Wow.
in. So everybody that's watching figured it out. We don't know how to do it, but you guys do. Wow. That's
Wow.
amazing.
Thanks, Specialist ID.
Amazing
And
Specialist ID. Wow, lots of you guys have. So what I do know is what he basically gave you is one free month. So what you need to do now is to make sure at the end of the month, renew it. It's just a few bucks. And the more members that we get, we may even start. I say because it would probably be in the middle of the week. We might do like a members only podcast. But we got to have enough members to kind of make it worthwhile, right? So you guys, this is awesome. Wow. So many people.
Thanks to Specialist ID. Also, since he took us to the VIP, he also gifted Peter of some bling, man. And you guys are going to see that in the vlog video that we did that's already out there right now. And there you go, Peter Brown.
Yeah. All right, let's start getting into there's just I can't go through it. Yeah, here's God is like, did you keep the chain? No, I did not. That is a $60,000 chain that I was wearing, folks. $60,000 chain and you could check it out at specialistid.com. But not to make this commercial not to make this video a whole commercial, but the fact that he gave away all these memberships and he's our good friend, he's earned a commercial for the entire video.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can't tell from that picture, but that thing is sparkly. It's got diamonds. I mean, it's just
this picture, bling. My little selfie that I took this only so I could send it to my wife. It wasn't really a great photo. You can't appreciate first off how heavy it was, and how sparkly for sure. We would go down the hallway when the stairs, there was more lights, I think, down the stairs, and you could really see it sparkling there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So yeah, this might be just one of those kind of shows where we're just wild all over the place. No real flow to it because I want to. We had such an exciting night, but I want to hear if you had an exciting night going there, or like I see from FIFA highlights that he's excited to go next weekend on April 11th, the game against New York Red Bulls. What's our prediction for the game? Wow. I mean, Red Bulls, didn't they just, I think they just beat Cincinnati. I think it was 4-2 or something like that yesterday. So they're
Wow.
not going to be easy for sure. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
we thought that Austin was going to be easier, and that doesn't work out. It's like everybody ups their game when they play Inter Miami. They get
A
better.
100%. Um,
Yeah.
but you know, so this, let's just go through a little bit, and you guys can jump in the chat, ask questions if you want. But this is so, Ed. We'll take this time a little bit to kind of give a almost like a review of the stadium to some extent. I don't think it's fair. We probably should do a individual review of the stadium, but after maybe a couple of weeks, right? So a couple,
Yeah.
maybe 3-4 games to give it a proper review. But this gives you a kind of a good example of a little bit of the stadium where the stadium looks beautiful in the background because it's done for the most part. But you can see in front of the sign where Ed is standing is all dirt, right? And there's a lot of dirt around the stadium.
Yeah.
So it's, I was ready. I said this to my wife, Ed. I don't know how much you guys paid attention to social media and to X the days leading up. The days leading up where it just looked unfinished. And you were like, how are
Yeah.
they ever going to get it done in time? And then there were so many complaints and accusations, really, because people didn't know, but they were making accusations that, oh, this is being done so cheaply and you deserve better and all that kind of stuff. So I actually went into the stadium planning to nitpick because I think those people affected me a little bit. Like, okay, yeah, you know what? They make good points. Maybe it was too rushed, all this stuff. I even agree that, maybe they should have opened in the summer, right? After the World Cup, give them a little more time. But I couldn't really nitpick once we were in there. Sure, there were some minor things here and there in our luxury section. Now, we had a very different perspective than someone like my wife and Julio's wife and Julio, our friend Julio. They were sitting in our normal section over here. This is the view, Ed, that we will have next week because this is my
Yeah.
wife's photo. And so our perspective was definitely very, very different being in the loge, being in with the VIP area. But I just thought this is better. The stadium was better than I expected.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and we ran into Jorge Mas and Jose Mas, and we said hello to both of them. And the first thing that Jorge said was, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Dude, this thing is beautiful because it is a wonderful stadium, probably the best stadium in MLS right now, even though it's not fully finished,
Right.
but it's incredible, man. I mean, I mean, the moment we walked in." And mind you, I walked in, when was it? Wednesday or Thursday that we win a couple
Thursday, I
of,
think
it
it
was
was.
that I did the other video. Yeah. And there were still, dude, I was worried because I was like, man, they're not going to get it done. But we walked in on Saturday and that thing was definitely done. Well, we found some things that were, still missing, like seats.
Look, my wife, I don't know what you used in the game day vlog because I didn't watch it yet because I was busy editing the other videos. But my wife sent you, well, I sent you some clips that she filmed. So I don't know if you used them or not, but she was trying to channel me because you know that, well, I notice the small details. I pay attention a lot of times to things that nobody else pays attention to. I'm just wired that way. I'm watching a TV show and I'll notice something about the coffee cup on the table, right? And I just notice stupid stuff. And so she was trying to channel me and pointing out uh little details. So there are some little details, but overall, just amazing experience.
Yeah.
In the chat, Francisco is saying congrats to all the Inter Miami fans for the new stadium. I don't know what that means, so I'm not gonna try to say it.
Coqueta is kind of like a flirty little, like very flirty, something like that.
Okay. Julio, one of our members, says there's still a lot of work to be done. It will probably be 100% in 6 months. Well, so again, different perspectives sitting in different areas. We'll really find out next week, Ed, when we go sit in this section. And because one of the complaints that I heard was the food situation. If you want a snack in the stadium over on the east, the lines were insane. They did not have enough food stalls open. I think Caesar had mentioned that it looked like some of the kitchens were closed. Maybe they weren't ready yet. So you had fewer options. And my wife was looking for like a snack or something like that. And she saw the line. She's like, forget it. I'll go hungry. I'm okay. And so, there's definitely operationally areas to improve. As far as it, taking 6 months to finish, I think inside the stadium, unless Julio's experience was different, inside the stadium, I think they could be done in, month, tying up loose ends. Outside the stadium, you and I, when we were walking over to the loge section, this VIP entrance, we saw a whole back half that is raw. Like it, I don't know if that made it into your video, but there's work to be done.
It's in there.
But that's not an area that we as fans are going to. So it doesn't affect us.
Totally. Yeah, you guys are gonna see that in the video. It definitely came out. The outside, the inside is basically just about done. There's there's little stuff left, but I think, the outside's the area that needs all the work. They concentrated on the stadium itself, I think. But I think by next week they'll probably have a lot of those kinks out of the way, man.
I would. So I know what they would have probably preferred is to have had a couple of like events before this to work out those kinks, because there's for everybody working at that stadium, like think about all the security, all the vendors, it's their first day too. Right. So hopefully if you went to the stadium and maybe got frustrated, hopefully you cut the people some slack because they don't know what's going on either. If you went and asked somebody for help and they didn't understand or didn't know how to answer your question, just think of it this way. It's their first day too. They're new at that place as well. So just keep that in mind. But going to some of the comments, and we're going to get to some voicemails here in just a second, I think. Kata said, it feels bigger than 26,700. That was one of the comments I think we see the most is whether it be on our channel or just social media that this stadium should be bigger. Wakata is saying it looks bigger, but I think part of that is, and I saw somebody make a comment, I think it was on one of our videos, that it gives the appearance of a bigger stadium. Like it's like the design is a bigger stadium design just shrunk down a little bit. Like some stadiums look smaller. Like it just looks like, okay. But this one, the way it was built and the canopy and everything, it just looks like it's a huge stadium kind of like just reduced.
Yeah.
So
it just
it was pretty breathtaking. I think the way the lights around it felt brighter in some ways to me. The canopy looked really, really great. So all good stuff. A new
sound, Peter.
Oh my God,
the sound, Ed. The acoustics. Oh, incredible.
I leaned over to you saying it was so loud. I mean, we're trying to talk a little bit, or me, I'm talking. And I had to yell. We didn't have to do that at the other stadium.
No, because everything, it wasn't closed in, so everything was out. But this is closed in, and No, it was just impressive, man. Just
It
everything about it, the sound, the
yeah.
supporters sounded incredible.
It's built for the acoustics for sure, obviously, because it's only like 5,000 more people. It's not that many
Right,
more people. I mean, that's still a lot of people, but it's not the other stadium. Obviously, the noise was just flying away, if you will, and this
right.
trapped it
Hmm.
in there so well. Um, there was definitely a roar in the crowd. A new Weissman mentioned in the chat, the merch line was crazy long. Go to Canes or skip the line. Agreed. Go to Canes Wear. My wife did brave the long line because we did want something that you could only get. There were some things that you could only get this one day, and this was one of them. I don't know if you can, the home match. It's got the date on everything on it, and the backside
The stadium.
is the stadium. So a really cool scarf that it was expensive scarf. That's a $42 scarf, guys. But my wife was such a trooper. Um, because so normally I scaled down this year to where I don't have 2 tickets this year. I only have 1. So my wife was only able to go because we got invited to the VIP area. So she took my other ticket and we separated for the game, which is weird. But she had a great time. But she was such a trooper that while Ed and I are enjoying a beer maybe or walking
Or
around shooting
two.
video content, one of the two things, she stood in this massive line for us to get us those scarves. So that was really cool of them. um Kata is saying, as far as the food, I had to go to 3 kiosks to get water and people saying not enough food areas, right? So that's where I know, like, I heard from some people there was some real frustration about the food. What
Hmm.
Caesar mentioned to my wife, not a bad idea, at least for a while. The fan zone area is massive, and there are way more food trucks, tons of food trucks there. So maybe go eat before the game, go enjoy that area. Um, he got like a great burger or something like that, maybe better than what you're gonna get inside the stadium. And there was no line, so you know, uh, One World saying can't serve food until you have certificate of occupancy. Had only 1 day. Temp CEO. Yeah, but they were, from what I understand, serving some food. They just didn't serve enough.
Yeah, right there, right now. So hopefully by next game they'll have that fixed because Peter's hungry all the time, so he's gonna need that food.
Well, we got
Jorge
we
Mas,
definitely
if you're
got to eat.
watching, yeah, Jorge Mas, if you're watching, Julio also. Now that guy eats. Julio's gonna need food, so hook him up.
Um, Kata's asking, do they take the Tri-Rail coupon? That is the one thing that I didn't get done. Like I planned on trading that in, but obviously me and Ed didn't need any food discount because we were hooked up. But originally I thought we would do it so my wife could use it, and I had 2 tickets, so she could potentially get $20. Um, but in the madness, I forgot to give her the tickets, and I don't even know if she would have known where to go because I didn't really know where to go, but you could have asked. But so I'm assuming they took the Tri-Rail coupon, but I don't know. Um, so okay, we're talking all the positivity, Ed. There is one glaring issue, and we're going to get to voicemails. We're about at the 7:30 mark. One big issue to us, to some of us, that there were no cup holders for your regular folk, right? Over in the fancy section, we had 2 cup holders in these nice leather chairs. But in your normal section, no cup holders. And our buddy Julio was saying he got tired of having to pick up his beer every time somebody walked by because you don't want him to kick it and knock it over. So, that's definitely a huge, huge miss from somebody like Jorge Mas always talks about the fan experience as a number one thing. Well, this is a glaring, huge miss on their part. Is it a budget cut? I don't know.
Right. Interesting.
How many times is that going to play? Wait, it's not supposed to do that, Ed.
I think it's stuck.
It's stuck.
Uh-oh. Okay, that's it.
Woo. Okay, it was a big super chat, so it earned it, but here we go. Caesar throws in here $20 super chat. Thank you, Caesar. Amazing experience.
Thanks.
Tri-rail is the way to go. Painless commute in and out. I had an awesome view from my seat. Inter Miami CF staff and the pedestrian bridge should be done by June. So it is a 10-minute walk from the station. So he obviously asked somebody about the bridge. So that's good. We'll get back to the tri-rail thing. I was on a cup holder thing. Now there were no cup holders? No cup holders in section 219.
No,
and Ed, you had a chance on that Thursday to move around the stadium a little bit, and you didn't see any cup holders.
no cup holders, and that was the first thing that I noticed, and I think I told you guys about.
Right.
I mean, Inter Miami, if you guys, if you guys didn't get them, take them out of the old stadium and put them over here, right?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I know if you're a billionaire guy, you might think we're being nitpicky and this is just stupid. It's like, I don't know. I'm putting words in his mouth because I don't know. But that could be potentially a thought, right? That whatever. That's the least of your concern, whatever. But as a fan, as a paying guest, that is important. Because you want to sell beverages. You want to sell beer. You are going to make a lot of money on beer. You want to make it comfortable for people to buy said beer and put it down. So here, Julio is jumping in, confirming in section 237. No cup holders either. So, yeah.
Oh, and
One more one goal says, Peter, it's probably this is the only seat we could order on time. Well, yeah, but then again, that may be the case, and that's also a bit of a pet peeve I've been having is I don't like the gray seats. I understand the speckled seats. That's kind of a thing that happens in a lot of stadiums. If the stadium's a little bit empty, it'll look full. I get it. Whatever. I don't care about that. So there's pink and white and black. I don't mind that. I mean, Chase had that. But the gray seats, I don't like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. So to me, that's like, oh, we ran out of pink. We didn't have enough pink to get this done in time. And so One World may be right. Bad planning, bad timeline, something. It's a fail. At the end of the day, it's a fail. And they're not going to, are they really going to sit there and bolt on 26,000 cup holders over the next few months? I don't know. I have a feeling that's it. You're not getting cup holders. I'll be shocked if we see them.
Well, I hope you're wrong because,
I hope
like I said, take them out of the old stadium. They don't need them there anymore.
But the old stadium, I don't remember. Were they molded into the seat or were they?
I don't know.
I didn't pay that much attention. They were there, and I was happy. I didn't.
Yeah, they were there, and they were like they were connected to the front seats, the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's doable. I think if there's a way to take those out, they can put them on these seats, and
as long as it's not molded. Yeah, if they're bolted on, then sure, it's doable. If it's molded, then no. But
right.
So here, what Julio was saying, for the price we paid for the season ticket membership, we should have them.
We got used to them in the old stadium, Peter. So it's like, it's kind of a downgrade, you're paying more, but you're not getting the cup holder.
And I know it is nitpicking, but I think that of all the things, because, okay, food lines being long, things like that, or I saw my wife took some video of like numbers on the aisle or something like that were falling off already. The chair that you were sitting on in the air expensive area didn't have a seat number because it probably
No
fell off
seating.
already. So there's some little
It's in
things.
the video.
Those I could those I could forgive because
Wow.
hey, they had to get it open. They had to do some things, maybe whatever. That's fine. You could fix that stuff late over time. That happens. Operations, I could forgive. It's no big deal. It's your first game. You'll fix those as you get the permits and all that kind of stuff. You'll work the kinks out. No big deal. Cup holders is not a kink. Cup holders is something they knew ahead of time. Cup holders was a plan to not have them. They might have planned on having them and it fell apart, but bottom line, it's a huge miss. That's not something I think I can forgive. I mean, obviously, I'm going to still go to the games and all that, and I'll have fun, but I'm going to probably bitch about it a lot.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're used to it in the old stadium. We're paying more in this stadium, and yet we don't have them. So it's kind of
Kata
what
was
are we
asking,
paying for?
yeah, Kata was asking about the message. Says the emergency announcement freaked people out in his section. If not for your vlog, I would have never known about the fire alarm. Yeah, well, we didn't know about the fire alarm either. Our friend Patrick told us because he was
Yeah,
inside the the club area. Because one of the cool things is you can and I know Ed showed it because I was there with him. The glass enclosure where you could watch the players come out onto the field. So he was in there watching that, and he heard the fire alarm going off. So he told us.
yeah, and so we got video of that too. When he was inside, he was able to record.
Right.
It's in our video,
Oh,
and you
great.
can also see the players walking out through the that glass area.
Yeah.
Patrick was able to get that also, so you get
It's
to
got a
see
name. I
Messi
forgot what
and
they
the
call it.
bodyguard. Yeah, well, that thingy.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
just
got
call it
some
thingy.
name. I forget. He knows what it is. Kata's also asking, did the canopy save you guys from the rain? Yes. So those gaps that I was complaining about, they did fill them in, right? So it's like some sort of, you know, metal, plastic, whatever piece that, joined it all together. I didn't see any gaps from where we were, and I did look for them. So and so we didn't really get wet. I mean, sure, I think we got a slight bit of rain on us, barely, like a. I think I mentioned
Mist,
it,
like mist.
like a
Yeah,
mist, because obviously wind, it's going to cover it, and the lower levels, the lower seats closer to the field, you might get a little bit something, but you're pretty covered.
yeah.
All right, Ed, is there anything you think we missed that you want to touch on before we go to the voicemails?
Well, I think we could before we leave, we could talk about the game a little bit, because some people join us because they want to talk about the game. We got the goals.
Okay,
I think
well,
I got out of yeah.
let's do that after the voicemails because I think these
You
voicemails are going to
got
be
it.
mostly about the stadium.
Do it.
All right.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello?
Hey, Peter, Uncle Ed, how you doing? This is a new Wiseman from Atlanta. Hey, I mean, I do feel bad for that, the Austin crashed the party, but what a stadium! I mean, sheesh, they were just amazed. I was just amazed at how great that stadium is. I just wish you could fit more people in there. I feel like that should be a 50,000 seat stadium right there. The way it's symmetrical like that. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it.
He's speechless.
What
There's a
right.
pause. He's speechless. There's a
Mhm.
pause. Yeah, that's it. A lot of people say it should have been bigger, and I think most people. Now, Anu's not one of these people, but I think a lot of people that say it should be bigger are not from this area. I mean, Anu's not from this area, but he is an MLS fan. A lot of our viewers are not from this country, right? So they're going to see it differently. Where the sport is in this country, I think that's the right size stadium for week in, week out. I think that's the right size. But they were also limited on how high they could go because of the airport. So if they made the stadium bigger, they would have had to make the bowl out more. So you would have been farther away from the field. because
Right.
you could only go up so high. Now, I don't know how, if they are at their max or if they could have gone a little bit. I don't know that stuff, but I do know at one point the city had asked them when they were getting the approval for the land to have a conversation with the University of Miami about going in together to build a stadium that met both needs. And I know they had that conversation. It didn't go anywhere. So it didn't happen. But had they built a stadium that would also involve the University of Miami, it would have been probably a 40, 50,000 seat stadium. But again, it probably would have been maybe it wasn't conceivable, maybe it wasn't possible because of the location, but I don't know.
Right.
All right, next one. That's the only one I pre-listened to. I don't know what these others say.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed and all the great fans, from young to old, sports shorts, Eric, Uncle Ned, Uncle Ted, and Yankee Boy, and all our great listeners. Just want to give a quick shout out to all the people like Julito, you guys, the Corey brothers, so many people that did 9 million tweets, contacted all of our representatives, everyone through government, which was like 3 mayors ago, of course, bothering the soccer don all the time to get to that day to have this stadium, which of course we lived right nearby it, 15 minutes I was over there 17, 20 years, and then just recently relocated, and then unfortunately had a work injury, so I'm actually out. I would have to Uber to the door, and I'm out with Easter, so I couldn't make that game. So I'm kind of upset. I'm like, oh my God, we worked on this for 17 years, 12 years, whatever it was. And I missed the opening. But anywho, everyone looked great. Shout out to the Moss family, the Beckham family, and everyone who really made this day possible. I definitely owe you guys some beers when I see you. I was going to buy the whole stadium, remember? So I have to wait until I can Uber literally to the door, because I see a lot of stairs over there. We all have to get into shape for I'm doing some therapy right now. As soon as I get things cooking, I will, a treatment. I'm in treatment, like Messi when he has the bum, kind of in that area too. I don't want to get personal. Okay, love you guys. Peace out. I'll see you soon. Congrats on this, finally making this day.
She mentioned Ubering. Obviously a solid idea, but I did read on X that the Uber station, wherever you pick up Ubers, was a nightmare. So, since they're pushing for public transportation, Uber is obviously an option. So a lot of people probably took it, because even if you took the Bright Line, you had to then Uber or go on the Metro Rail to make that final connect to get to the stadium, because it's 6 miles away. So that's just something to consider. Again, if you are, going back to what Caesar was saying, if you have the option to take the Tri-Rail or the Metro Rail, real quick, I was mentioning this to Ed before, because apparently there was a game that he wants to talk about. I don't even remember there being a game. Because to me, it was so much going on. There was a game, but if I noticed a lot of people going towards the Metro Rail station, because at one point when we were leaving to go to the airport station, you veer to the right to go to the train station, go straight ahead for the Metro Rail. More people were going to the Metro Rail. So, all right, another one here.
What's up, mi gente? It's your boy Yankee Yang. Listen, y'all don't have to play this. It's your show. I respect that, appreciate that, but I feel like I have to say it.
All right.
So I'm going to say it, because that's what I do. I want to congratulate the two of you. I want to congratulate the listeners who have been riding for a long time. I want to also acknowledge the work done by some of the people who've stepped into the background, but it needs to be said, that stadium, as far as I'm concerned, that's the house that y'all, my guys, built. That's the house that has been the realization of something that was a dream when you dudes were walking around at college basketball tournament events and football games handing out flyers, talking about, hey, let's try to support a team. So you guys might not be comfortable with playing this, and I respect that. But let it be known, there's a whole bunch of people, just like I posted on X last night. There's a whole bunch of people who have arrived to the journey late. You've welcomed them. You said, come and join us. But respect has to be put on the name of those that helped build the foundation, lay the cornerstones. So I just have to give y'all your props. I render unto Caesar's that which is Caesar's. Y'all are my Caesars. Holler at you later, players. Respect.
Too Kind by Yankee Boy. Yeah, I mean, most people don't even know who we are there anymore unless you watch this channel. Funny thing, sidebar, Ed saw it happening. We founded Southern Legion. Somebody came up to me and gave me a Southern Legion flyer asking me to join Southern Legion, which I thought was hilarious because we founded
that was
the thing.
funny.
But, you know, there's so many new people. And at the end of the day, all we wanted was a team, and we got the team. So, you know, we appreciate the kind words, though. Last one, and then Ed's allowed to talk about the game.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Gonzalez calling from up in Palm Beach County. Hope that everything is well. I actually just got back from a pleasant cruise on the Norwegian breakaway to Bermuda, so that's why I wasn't at last night's game, but did get the chance to watch it on Apple TV on board the cruise ship thanks to the streaming. So I saw that it was absolutely fantastic. I hope that everybody had a wonderful time last night, and I'll be at the game next week versus New York Red Bull. But just curious to find out about fan reactions and how everything was last night. But what I also wanted to ask is, what's the situation? How did the mass transit work last night? Assuming that you haven't already elaborated on it yet, if you could address the mass transit, what the overall opinion of it was, and everything, although I'll be driving down there next week. But just wanted to get your take on it. But once again, glad that everybody had a great time last night, despite the draw. But hopefully we'll get a better result next week. Great to be back home. See you guys next Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, so we covered some of the mass transit, but let's one thing. You're coming from West Palm, take the tri-road, don't drive. Do that. There was, and if I saw that Kata had said, thanks to Specialist ID, he has the members only tri-roll video unlocked for him right now. So if you want to join, become a member, or you just got gifted a membership, you can watch that video where I think I do a decent job of teaching you how to go through the whole process. I also saw somebody in the chat saying they need more trains going north. I did hear Caesar told me, because he had asked some people, and then I also saw Tri-Rail post on Twitter that they had more trains available if needed. So they obviously, filled the trains, but from the one car that I was in, it wasn't overfilled. So every seat was taken. So my recommendation is get there as quickly as you can. Don't freak out though. Don't rush. Don't, just move along and you'll have no issue. The train waited for an hour for us to go north. They said 45 minutes. They gave it an additional 15 minutes. So you should be fine. The only way to get to the station, I think, is to the stadium is the mass transit. But Ed, real quick before we move on to talk about the game, you did drive there with Julio. How was the parking experience for you guys? No, keeping in mind, everybody, they got there super early.
We got there super early, so that wasn't too much of an issue. It was pretty quick. And yeah, it started filling up later on, of course. A lot of people showed up. But on the way out, yes, there was a lot of traffic. I think there was only one way they were going out. I think it was down 37th Avenue, because they're trying to avoid going, down Lejeune, because that's where the people go to the airport. So from what I noticed, they only went out 37th. They didn't go down, what's that street, 14th, I believe.
Right.
Because that would probably block Lejeune. But yeah, it was. It took a while.
You guys
we
didn't
sat
do
around.
you guys didn't do what we would normally do and just sit around, drink beer, and just wait till the last car leaves?
We
Or you
did
did?
that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it could have been worse, in other words. And you
It
still
could have
thought it
been
was
worse,
bad.
but it was bad. Yeah, it was. It took, like I said, my daughter works for the team, so she basically, when she got off, she was able to catch a ride with me, which was cool.
So I did see on X somebody mentioning that the garage. Now you parked in the yellow lot, which is eventually going to be restaurant areas, but for
Right.
now it's kind of partially paved, partially gravel. But in the lot, the parking garage, I saw somebody mentioning that it took them an hour and a half to get out of that parking garage. I know anytime I've parked in a parking garage at a sporting event, like when I went to the Orlando City Inter Miami game, I had to park in a garage and it was a nightmare to get out. Anytime you have to park in a garage at a sporting event, there's too many people leaving at the same time, it's going to be hard. So this guy apparently took him an hour and a half, which that sucks.
Wow.
You could say, I was debating and that's why I chatted you. Where are you guys? Because I was just now leaving in the train, and I was curious if you guys were still there. You said you were already home, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and I was still at the stadium, so it took me a little longer, but at least mine was stress free. Somebody
Right.
sitting in an hour and a half parking garage would suck.
Yeah, but yeah, and once we got going, it was cool. But yeah, just be prepared if you're gonna drive. It's gonna be easier in the future because there's gonna be like a place you can hang out, restaurants and all that.
Yeah, well,
So
the
you can
state did give the city / Inter Miami $8 million to improve the roads, which I think that gets gobbled up real quick. But
oh yeah,
they haven't started that yet, so it's going to suck for a while. And
it's gonna
road
suck for a
construction
while.
is never quick either. So it's probably like this for a couple of years.
Yeah, because I mean, that parking lot that they have, the temporary parking lot where we parked, that's gonna be there for at least this year, and until they
Mm-hmm.
start the second phase, whenever that starts. So, and then, it's going to be a little more difficult. But I think, some people are on the right track. They're going to take mass transit, and that's the way to go. I think it's going to make things easier for everybody.
Kata's asking if I will take the Tri-Rail from now on or drive. I hope Northern season ticket holders get Tri-Rail year pass. There's no discount on the Tri-Rail that I'm aware of, but I can handle $5 a game, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, my plan is to take it. Now, where it's going to suck, and I don't remember who mentioned it, if it was you or Julio or somebody, when it rains. That's when it's going to suck, because it is a 10 to 15 minute walk to
And it rained.
and
You
apparently
got
it did
lucky,
rain
Peter.
yesterday, but we were already on the train. You texted me like,
You
did I
got
get wet?
lucky.
I was good.
You got lucky because you left,
Right
considerably
away.
early, but
But
a lot of people got wet.
yeah, and there's going to be some games, remember, where it rains the entire game. So it's like you're just going to have to go. You're just going to have to
Hmm.
go for it. And that will suck. But it's part of living in Florida, I guess. I don't know. So all right.
So
Ed.
prepare to get wet, Peter.
Yeah, that's going to happen eventually in this game. So Ed, apparently there was a game that was played, and the one thing that sucked about the game,
Yeah.
because Ed, I told you I could talk all day long about the stuff around the game. That I find super entertaining. But I know people do want to talk about there was an actual game that was played. The one thing that sucks about that game is the first goal in the history of that stadium was scored by an Austin player.
Yeah, and 5 minutes into the game, and that happened the second half too. 5 minutes into the
know.
game,
Ridiculous.
they scored both their goals. Because I don't know what it is with this team, but the first 5 minutes they're not concentrated. They always get somebody to score on us, and it's either half. Same thing happens. 5 minutes in, boom, there's a goal. So we're always like struggling to get back. We suffer, but we kind of got used to the team,
Yeah.
making the comeback and making the game excited. We could have won, but what's his name? Suarez was offside, but that would have been an awesome finish, a 3-2. But hey, we'll take the tie.
Kata saying trash defending. I mean, that's the history. That's the story of our. I don't want to say season. The story of this team forever. Trash
Yeah.
defending.
But the first goal for Inter Miami was Messi, so I guess
Which
that's kind of historic.
is appropriate, seeing that he has his own stand named after him. The only player in at least MLS history to get his own stand named after him while still playing.
Right. And
So
you see that a lot in South America. They name stands after players, but most of them aren't around anymore. Or
it's
they're
after they've
retired.
at least retired. Like,
Right.
here's the thing that's going to happen. They haven't announced it, but you know this is going to happen. There will be a Messi statue out at that stadium when he retires. I guarantee it. There already kind of is one inside the store, and we didn't even see. I want to go back to talk about the stadium, Ed. We didn't even get inside the store.
No. And there were some videos that your wife passed to me, but I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's save that for its own video.
Makes sense. And hers were so
So I
short.
didn't
She'd
use
do like a 2-second video.
Right.
It's hard to do much.
So I
with
was
it.
like, and already, I mean, I filmed like almost 2 hours of
I
video,
know.
Peter. So
I know.
and it's still an hour and minutes. So I had to cut a lot of stuff off.
Well, like we said when you were filming, at one point you were just letting the camera just run. And I think I leaned over to you and said, this thing's going to be a 2-hour video. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that could be considered too long of a video for people to watch. But this is only going to happen once. This experience, first off, I don't know how often we'll get to go into the VIP area. That is its own experience also. And then it being the first ever game, it's never going to happen again. So let the camera roll. And you did. So I'm sure the video came out great. I've already heard that it came out great. So, it's something we can look back on too, for being selfish. Like, we make this content for everybody, but in some ways we make it for ourselves so that we can go back and watch this years later and remember the day, because it's truly from yours and mine perspective. So we will be reliving our memories, when we're old and gray.
Through these videos.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
you are already
We're already old and gray.
Well, I'm old. You're gray.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
There he goes. My brother's in the video. He loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs talking about the game. It was funny that Suarez scored a goal while he was asking the subs for wrist tape. It was almost, if you watch, I didn't notice that live. I watched it on replay. I mean, we did see him, putting on the tape while at the week, because I think we commented on it. But it was literally like almost like a fake out. Like, nobody's covering him because he's busy doing something else.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Which is funny. Hey, just FYI, going back and forth on topics. Kata says he likes the longer style videos. So just one point about that. Sometimes I think you and I battle with is the video too long, right? And our analytics tell us that they probably should be shorter. Right. But then you did, or you or me, I think, did a 20-minute game day vlog recently. What was that? Maybe was that the one? I don't remember where that was. It had to have been in Ecuador, right? Because that's we haven't had a home game. Anyways, I saw people complaining that it was too short. So, but yet our analytics tells us it needs to be shorter. But there are people like Kata that prefer the longer video. So there you go. You got it. He also mentions old Suarez is better than Berterame. Berterame bust.
Yeah, Berterame has been, lackluster. I mean, he could pass the ball, but he was brought here to make goals. He hasn't done that, so he's been on the bench, a couple of games already. He's disappointing. DePaul is another one that's been disappointing me. I mean, some days he plays well, he does okay, and then this game he shot a couple times at goal or tried to do passes. They got intercepted. Dude, he was a train wreck this game.
Yeah, and both guys cost around the same amount of money. I think was Berterame was $15 million and DePaul was
and
like 18 or
DePaul I think
something.
16,
16
something
somewhere.
like that.
Okay, right. And
Yeah,
same, pretty close together, right? So
yeah,
and both of
yeah,
them are kind of letdowns. So, yeah, you're right. DePaul does have good games, and
yeah.
but
He's got bad ones. Yeah,
Berterame hasn't had any. And here's the thing: is every pundit I've seen says he's gonna figure it out. He's too good not to figure it out. But I think I posed this question in previous videos that maybe it's not the player, it's the player's not fitting into this system. Like if he could be a player, like let's say we drop him because it's not working out. Like cut ties, it's a big loss, whatever. Summertime, they cut ties. I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just pretend.
yeah.
He goes
Well,
to
it's
another
because if
team
you
and he
think
lights it
about
up.
it,
He's going to go to
if you
another
think
team.
about it, yeah. Look, Allende, for example, he started off really well. Then and last year, then he had like a long period where he didn't do anything, and then he blew up in the playoffs.
And is that
And right now,
look?
he's not doing anything either.
I was going to say it feels like a repeat this year. We're going to spend most of
Yeah,
the year bitching about Allende, like he's getting into good positions. He looks promising, can't finish. And
right.
then come the last quarter of the year, all of a sudden he's going to be lights out.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think they're doing it again because they did this last year as well. They're concentrating on trying to make Messi do everything. They need to take shots too. They need to, take the ball in further and try to score. They keep passing back, and I think that's affecting, play. We're not. Nobody else is trying to score. They're just trying to give it to him so he could score.
We've had this conversation so many times over the years that we are too Messi dependent. And you figure when you bring in a player like Berterame, who has a name for himself, he knows how to play, he's had success, that he might not be so Messi dependent. He might be like, I can do it. Because, you're a goal scorer, you got an ego. He's got to have an ego that says, I could do this. I'm the one that's going to score this goal.
Like Suarez, I mean, he doesn't have legs, but he's still scoring.
Suarez just knows how to find open space. He knows how to create open space. He doesn't have the legs, but he could and a lot of the game, he may frustrate us too, but there's going to be just a couple moments where he can kind of create space that so far Berterame can't.
Right.
So that's why one is frustrating and the other's, Suarez is frustrating. I think Suarez, they're using him exactly the way I want him to be used. I don't want him to start. I don't want them to look at him and go, oh, he's playing great now. Let's start him, which is, I'm sure, what he would prefer. I think they're using him the right way. You have him come in as a super sub. This is, he's playing great in that way. I like it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Julio Enriquez says, RDP is my new Aviles. Don't like him. So, yeah. My wife is starting to treat Rodrigo de Paul the way she used to treat Higuain. When back then, she was going to all the games, and Higuain would frustrate her to no end. And my wife is a very vocal fan. If you've watched any of our old game day vlogs, you can hear her in the background. And now DePaul is becoming that player where she says he's got a crooked foot. She can't say crooked with her Brazilian background. She can't say crooked. She says crooked. He's got a crooked foot because every time he takes a shot, it's useless. So,
right.
My brother in the chat.
Another thing that they didn't.
My brother in the chat says Silvetti was a half step off all night, and I wasn't impressed with St. Clair. St. Clair has been another big letdown. Goalkeeper of the year.
No, he's definitely not the goalkeeper of the year this year. That's for sure. He's just been terrible. I don't give Rocco a chance. Put him back in there. It should have been Rocco since the beginning because he was a champion player, and that's something I think you and I have discussed, Peter. Where the players that were champions should have kept on playing because they knew each other and worked the other guys in and have them earn their being starters. But no, they throw them in there and they throw everything off, and there we go. That's why we didn't make it to the CONCACAF champions because we lose the players that knew how to play with each other.
I get your point, but I think it's challenging when you get the goalkeeper of the year and then put him on the bench. I think that's
I get you.
that's hard to do. And so, I'm not surprised
But
that they
now's the time
started.
to bring
I
Rocco
mean,
in.
look,
Yeah.
I haven't always been the biggest Rocco fan. I think he bobbles it a little bit. He scares me at times. He did have a good ending of the season. I will give him that. But I'm not the biggest lover of Rocco either. But right now, I say put him in. But I don't blame them for starting off with a goalkeeper of the year and then let them fight it out. I don't have a problem with that. But at this point, look, we saw Rocco in a game already this year. He looked good.
Yeah.
Sean Callahan says Dane St. Clair has been just as big as a disappointment as Berthe. Agreed.
Yep. Agreed.
Eric says RDP is a new Gonzalo Higuain for sure. All he does is bitch at Frey and Bright and gives half effort. Definitely not worth $17 million. Real quick here, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Julio says, another thing I noticed is that at about the 65-minute mark, while the whole Inter Miami squad were playing like they just gave up on the game. So, I don't know. I didn't quite feel that way.
There were times when I was telling you, Peter, they keep passing it back. Throw a center. They scored off of a center earlier.
They play so slow too. That's been a big issue I've had with them all year. I mean, that happened last year too, but this year it's been bugging me. So, One World saying, Peter, shout out to Frey, that gorgeous first assist in our new home. Yeah, I know. It was a beautiful assist. It was just like so perfectly placed. So really, really nice.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Any final thoughts, Ed?
Peter, no, if you guys haven't seen it yet, go check out the game day vlog. It's a long one, but I think it's a good one. You get to see stuff that you didn't, we had an early view of the tifo. I put it in there. We could have, messed up the whole tifo thing, but we didn't, because then everybody would have hated us. But I put the video in there so you guys could catch a view of it during the day. What else? And the alarm thing, that came out too. Thanks to Patrick for helping us out with that video. And there's a couple stuff that we threw in there that I think will keep it entertaining. So hope you guys like that. And we got some more videos also this week, Peter, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll figure out between you and me, like, when we should start truck. I don't know if we want to, like, just put it all out, because the Q&A videos, the way I'm filming those, or they're kind of like timeless questions. So the idea is I'm going to ask a question that's not necessarily pertaining to that game. So we can play it in 2 weeks, a month, whatever we want. So we'll just find places where we think, maybe we don't have a video, so we'll put those in there. I think they're fun. They're short, but they're fun videos. So I don't know if we'll put one out this week or if we do it next week when there is no game day vlog. Well, there will be next week, but the following week there won't be because there's a road game. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it's all coming.
Yeah.
But again,
members get to see those first also, right?
You know what I'm going to do? They're already done. I just have not created a thumbnail for them. So in the tomorrow, I will probably make the thumbnail, and then I'm going to make them live for members. So if you're one of the 50 that just became a member thanks to specialistid.com, then you will see those videos probably tomorrow as soon as I make a thumbnail. Right now, it's just got a placeholder thumbnail. But as soon as I make a thumbnail, you guys will see those as soon as you can. We're trying to wrap this up, but there's still questions. A few just last things. I think Kato was saying he hopes to see me on the train so we could do some nerd talk. Yeah, let's do it. And then last one, I think. Oh, okay, yeah. One World makes up a good pause. Peter and Uncle Ed, you guys will eventually have to do a food video from the stadium. That's in the plans. That we want to do that as well. But we have all year to do this stuff, So we're just going to be exploring the stadium. We're going to be exploring the stadium, just like everybody else. There's so much we haven't seen because all we saw was the VIP area. We haven't even seen the rest of the stadium. So One World brings up a good thing. Peter, tell them about the other Miami FC video channel. We did, if you made it this far, thank you. We did create another channel called FMTV Other Side. It's a weird name, but I just figured it's the other side. Other than Inter Miami. It's South Florida soccer that's not Inter Miami. Maybe we might touch on the Inter Miami Academy, but it's Miami FC, it's Fort Lauderdale United, and I'm just getting started on it. So do me a favor, go over to FMTV Other Side on YouTube and give it a subscribe. I've already got a few videos. Some of them are old, but there's a new Miami FC video that I think is pretty good. So go and give that a view as well. So appreciate it. Thanks for the reminder there, One World. All right, Ed. Let's wrap this sucker up, and we will see everybody next week. Again, if you see us at the stadium, please stop and say hi. It's a lot of fun. All right, everybody. See you later. Thanks for watching.